welcome once again to my channel. It's your boy Abo Eduardo, and today I'm going to be introducing SOLIDWORKS and how to customize it, the difference between a part, an assembly, and a drawing. So this is what we call main menu, and this is what we call standard menu. So we are just going to start. You're just going to click parts and OK. Now when this opens, we are going to see from here that we have what is a SOLIDWORKS logo. This is our main menu. This is what we call our standard menu, and this is what we call the file name. Now we're just going to where we do research, and normally this is what we minimize, maximize. Now we are going to what we call the command manager, and this is what we call the command manager toolbar. You can go to sketch, evaluate, features, and more. So we are going to go to what we call feature, property, and configuration bar or manager. So this is what we call this, because it has to play with the appearance and the form and what we see in our sketch or assembly. Now in our part, so we are going to go to what we call the feature manager design tree. You go to what we are going to call our graphic area. So this is where all the work is going to be taking place. Now this is what we call the task pane. Talk about the task pane, you're talking about this area. So we are going to see how you can, if you don't have internet, you can get maybe a topic on SOLIDWORKS that is disturbing you. So we are going to launch local help. Now when local help is launched, this is what we're going to get. Now we are going to get help without going to the internet of anything we want. So with that, you can see here, what you just need to do is just follow what they say and try to understand. Now we're going to go out. Now let's say we are already with the personalization and customization aspect of this tutorial. Let's say we go to view, toolbar, and let's say we want to customize. Now you see, if I add, you discovered that so many other interfaces have added. So you can add other things that does not exist, as well as you can remove other things that exist, because all what we have in this interface is what came, let us say, is what came with the application as a default interface. Now to explain the difference between an assembly, a part, and a drawing, I'm going to rapidly do what we call a part. Now while drawing, I'll be explaining certain things. Now when we talk about a part, we are talking about just a single diagram, and when we talk about an assembly, we are talking about more than one diagram. So here we are just going to create what we call a center line. I'm going to rapidly draw this, and we're going to take another one to make it horizontal. Now after drawing this, we're going to go out and we're going to take a parabol. So we're going to draw a parabolic, parabolic collector for solar energy in a solar cooker system. So we're going to start here. So starting here, you're going to go over here. So go to sharp, and you're going to go here. We'll go here, and we'll go down, and we're going to call this 335 millimeter. So it knows the unit already, so we're going to reduce it, and we're going to name this distance from here to here. We are going to name this distance 750 millimeters, and we're going to look at our diagram. So here I'm just going to validate this, and I'm going to go to revolve both search. I'm going to take no. Actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this axis. So this is what I want, and I'm going to validate it. Now actually this is what we call a part in SOLIDWORKS. This happens to be a part. Now this is a collector for solar cooker system. Now when we talk about an assembly, I'm going to show you an assembly that I did for a project. So I'm just going to go right over to file. I'm going to open, and I'm going to go to what we call assembly of part standing. It's a name that I gave. I'm going to open the project. Now we are going to see in reality what we mean by an assembly. Now we have here two different parts. So two different parts. This one that happens to be the pot, and another that happens to be the frame that carries the pot. So together, this span, so I'm going to make, in French you say contrainte, I'm going to take this point, and this point. That is what we call an assembly. So once we have this is what we call an assembly. This is what we call an assembly. While each of them, that is the pot itself, is what I call excuse me. Now the pot itself is what I call a part, and this is what I call a part. Now why not try to bring in the other part that we are just from drawing, although we never respected any dimensions. So let's try to bring in that part that we are just from drawing. So let's try to assemble this young man together with the part that we are drawing. So I'm going to take this part, I'm going to click here, let's say I'm going to take it here, I'm going to be forced to just allow it. So we are not doing an assembly class here. So now let's say I'll go to insert components, and I'll try to insert component. I'm going to browse, and let me take collector studies. So it's similar to what we've drawn before. Now I'm going to reduce this young man. I'm going to take his axe and make the axe to be the same here and the same here. So I'm just going to reduce this young man, and I'm going to turn it to see what this young man has become. Yes, okay. Now that's the difference between a part, an assembly, and of course what we call a drawing is different from this. So there's a lot to do there, so we're just going to go over to now this. We just need to join the axe, and I think this system looks familiar to you because this looks like a parabolic solar cooker in process. Now we are going to go to the aspect of, let's say, drawing. So I'm going to leave this. I'm not going to save any of them. Don't save. Now this our part, we're just going to leave out, and we're not going to save this. Don't save. Now we are going to go to this same, and we are going to go to draw and see the difference. Okay, so we draw here, we can bring in our instrument that we want, and no matter the instrument that we bring into place, we are just going to come out with different view. That's what we call the surface view, the bottom view, the upper view, and other views. So that's what we're just going to do. Just going to come up with them. And please look forward for the next tutorial, because on the next tutorial we are going to start drawing and explaining things. So thank you. Now we have here we are just going to take an A3 sheet of paper, and we're going to say okay. Now here I'm going to bring out a drawing. Now let's say I bring my pot only. I'm going to bring the pot that I draw. Now bringing this pot, I would like to have all this to give you, so I'm just going to click here. Don't care if it's enough. So I think that is my pot, and the shell is very big. So the scale, I can go to customize the scale. So I'm just going to take, let's say 1:50, and see how things is going to look like. So now I can represent other view. So this is the bottom view that I've represented, so I can represent other views. So when we are talking about drawing, we are talking about representing our diagram technically. So thank you, and look forward for other tutorials, and from next week we'll be seeing how we are going to model other different pieces. So stay blessed.